kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels slow motion, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the guy restarts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race, coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
From Nashville Superspeedway, the Goat Locker Racing INVets Truck Series is ready to open the 2025 Spring Playoffs right here tonight in the Music City. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. It has been an exciting regular season, and tonight we get to see our round of 12 drivers decide who's going to move on to the round of 8, as we've got an exciting night of racing here at Nashville Superspeedway. It may not be a true superspeedway, but it is one here compared to the Nashville Fairgrounds. I'm Dave Regal alongside my broadcast partner extraordinaire, my brother from another mother, Mr. Jordan Brockell, and we'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And Jordan, as always, it's great to be with you, and even more so tonight as we're ready to get green flag racing at one of our sport's most exciting mile-and-a-half speedways.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to someone winning this race, getting a guitar, and one of the things that I'm eager about is, he may not be in the playoffs, but Mark Whitley going for the tie with the league record of 4 consecutive wins in the Truck Series, which is when you see someone get close to a record, you're kind of hoping they get it. And I certainly am anxious and ready to go to see that. But I also want to see, who's going to be the one to knock him off that pedestal. He's won, I don't know, what is it, 7 in a row now at this point across both the series that we cover?
Yeah, I mean, let's first take a look here at Mark Whitley's win from last week. Now, of course, as we've mentioned, he's got back-to-back-to-back wins, and, he's been continuing that dominance, all throughout the season. And, of course, Kansas only had 2 cautions, and 9 of the 25 drivers 2 weeks ago finished with a 0X. Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, and Joseph McWhorter were right at home with another podium finish for each of them. So, another nod of the head. But, this is what everybody's been waiting for. This is what everybody's been looking for. Here we go. Truck Series playoffs as we get that graphic pulled up here. And, first things first, and this is what I want to tell everybody. The amount of work that these guys put in just to make it to this point is absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, Joseph McWhorter, okay, Travis Bieber, David Duke, Abert Holt. These 12 drivers have absolutely laid everything out on the field for this one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these guys are putting as much, much effort into this as possible. And I mean, you keep wondering, is there another bar that they can jump over? And then, we come to the following week and somehow they clear that bar. It's almost like the high jump. You're looking at it and you're like, there's no way that man can jump higher than that. And these guys can consistently jump higher and higher and higher. And with playoffs starting, I see that getting even higher of a bar.
Yeah, and here's the thing. As they keep moving those goalposts and as we keep increasing the excitement here, for a lot of these drivers, this is their first foray into the playoff system here. And, even as we take a quick peek at our friend Charles Abert, another playoff driver, these guys, they've got to figure that all 80 of these laps tonight are going to be nothing but insane. Kyle Deering, now Christopher Morse Jr. just laid fast time down. And here's the crazy thing. Morse has been incredible everywhere that we've seen him this season, and he's not a playoff-eligible driver.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things where, they continue to bounce in and out of different series, and, Morris Jr., if he decides to go full-time with the trucks, I see him being a tough competitor throughout this, and, him currently being a super tough competitor in the Arcus series, which, with the changeover to a different car and, the new car and everything like that, I mean, it just proves that these guys are all-around drivers and can get things done.
The above the yellow line, number 78 of Big David Duke out here. And, here's the thing. He's seated third. I don't think that there's a seating order, but at least he's third here on our list for those spring 2025 playoffs in the tree. Christopher Morse Jr. looking to pick up another pole award. So, and here we are, the Glove Station 178. That's Alex McQueen, but not the shoe guy. I think Alex McQueen's are shoes. Are they not?
You're asking the wrong guy, because I buy shoes like once in a blue moon. I buy
Buddy-
like 2-3 pairs of Vans, and then that's it.
Buddy, you're talking to someone who I thought when I first heard of Coachella, I thought that it was a festival for handbags and leather backpacks.
Well, I thought Coachella was a style of sandals, so I mean,
No, that was chancleta.
but,
It's different.
but that's also chanclas.
Yeah, it's different. Qualifying about a minute and a half away. Let's see who might be sitting around that we can chat with here. In fact, here is Alex McQueen. Actually, let's get our fearless leader, Mr. Dan Craykiel. Of course, our series director. Hey, Dan, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, sir, how are you?
Buddy, it's good to hear your voice. By the way, thanks for letting your St. Louis Cardinals beat up on my Phillies today. Appreciate you. But listen, here we are, opening night of the playoffs, and you guys have put on a heck of a show so far this season. What are you looking forward to tonight when the green flag drops?
I'm looking for another race just like we had last week. I think last week we had 2 cautions, 6 caution laps, and some of the best racing that we've had all season long. So I'm looking for our guys to do that. I'm looking for, the playoff drivers to sit there and who's going to get the claim their spot for the round of 8. So it starts tonight here in Nashville. Nashville Super Speedway is a GLR track through and through. So we're glad to have it here at the INVets series tonight.
Yeah, and we're thrilled to have been part of this, all regular season long. And I mean, for me personally, I'm excited to see what happens next as we move in to the playoffs here. So get yourself strapped in and ready. I believe are you over in race control tonight?
I am. I'm watching Eddie Smith's got our race control tonight. I'm here as a backup and to just support the league as a whole. I just got home. You talked about the Cards and Phillies. I'm actually on-field medical for the St. Louis Battlehawks, so we just got done with the game. I just got back from that.
I heard that the St. Louis Battlehawks are the highest attended UFL team in the league. Is that accurate?
We are. We average about 30,000 tickets.
That's
distributed
fantastic.
Every week. Every other team, it takes all 3 other home games combined to come up to that. So DC got it today. They brought it, and unfortunately, St. Louis had to take a loss today, but they'll be right back at it. I think they're on the road next week, and then we'll be back home after Easter on the 3rd. So it was a real good time. I'm ready for some good racing here and calls from you guys.
Absolutely, my friend. All right, buddy. Listen, have a good night. Good luck over there in the race control booth. Tell Eddie I'll talk to him later. Let's get green flag racing.
Good. Absolutely, guys.
That the voice of our race director, Mr. Dan Craykiel. Let's take a look here at our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner, Christopher Morse Jr., picking another one up here. Of course, we want to thank our friends at Jam Printing and Promotions out of Plainfield, Indiana. We are local and we are veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company, and they, of course, sponsor our Pole Award across all of our series. And speaking of the Pole Award, let's get a look here at our starting lineup as we've already started moving through here. As we mentioned, Mark Whitley with that Pole Award. He's going to be on the front row alongside of Christopher Morse Jr. Tyler Justice and Jamie Libke going to be in row number 2, while row 3 going to feature Michael McCarthy and now Barrett Morton. Andy Kurtz and Brett Bieber in row 4, Jeremiah Holt and Big David Duke in row number 5. That's your starting top 10. Casey Jones and Mark Cofield, they'll be in row number 6 with Charles Abert, Alex McQueen, Skylar Daly, Kyle Deering, Travis Bieber out of Oley, Pennsylvania, Kyle Wilson, Joseph McWhorter, Douglas Macedo, Brandon Wallace, Kevin Price, and Brock Price. That rounds out the 23 drivers scheduled to take the green flag and run these 80 laps tonight. 80 laps, the scheduled distance, as we had mentioned. And right now on the racetrack, 76 degrees, so lots and Lots of grip down there on the asphalt. We want to thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of your evening, especially our friends at Above the Yellow Line who got us involved in this. But right now the pace truck is off, and the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, and the playoffs are underway in the GLR INVets Truck Series.
McCarthy was all over the back of the 19 trying to get going, and Whitley and Morris had equal starts there, so McCarthy not really able to go anywhere. He moves up to the high line now just behind Morris as Whitley takes the lead and sets sail there for a bit.
Yeah, a nice, gentle start for everyone tonight. Nothing crazy. That's what we like to see, especially here on the very first lap. Last week, we didn't even get through turn 1.5 before bad things happened, but deeper into the field, we're starting to see some real side-by-side action. Watch the 97. That's Mark Cofield shooting in just underneath the 34 of Casey Jones. And Casey Jones in the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet Silverado holds the high line. There's a lot of speed locked up there. It's just a matter of being able to hold that down, especially early on. Right now, drivers able to wrap the bottom of the racetrack. Doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal for many of them. But a lot of single-file racing here on lap number 3.
Yeah, a lot of the people that we talked to, across the 2 races last week, a lot of what they said was track position is key, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pass around this place. We got caution on the racetrack early here. Looks like Casey Jones popping up as wrecked. Seeing him down in 23rd now. And you see there all that damage on the front nose of it.
Let's take a look here and see what happened with Casey Jones. The blimp was just nearby. Let's take a look, as they would say on ABC's Wide World of Sports 40 years ago. Contact between the 34 and the 97.
Oh, and that looked like a heavy net code contact there. It didn't necessarily look like he got much of a contact there with, I believe it was Travis Bieber there.
It was the 97, and that was Mark Cofield.
My eyes are failing me
Jones,
at this young age.
That's fine. We all just figured that you weren't right. Oh. Yeah,
no,
you know
right
what?
there. See, I am smart.
Well,
Travis, loose term.
Loose guy. Here's the thing. Now, let's see if we can maybe just go right here to the gearbox and ride along. Oh, yeah. I'm afraid that may be our old friend Netcode bouncing in there.
And I know it's set up to do its best of inevitable contact, but that there seemed like those guys were going to be able to possibly race there, and it was going to be a tight race off the corner. But I think they, with the skill level of these guys in this league, that wouldn't have been an issue at all whatsoever. So it's just unfortunate there for Casey Jones.
Without a doubt. We also want to thank our good friends over at INVets. And, of course, INVets was founded by veterans and for veterans, and they aid in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. And they, of course, are our title sponsor here on Sunday night. And I got to tell you, those guys at INVets and really everybody who has a hand in our sponsors here at Goat Locker Racing, all incredible organizations. I encourage all of you to go check that out over at INVets. And, of course, our good friend Taylor Kitchen, who, of course, I got to know through TikTok, of all places. But she, of course, is at the helm of Above the Yellow Line. In 2021, Above the Yellow Line with Taylor Kitchen began as a podcast fueled by a passion for motorsports and a desire to build community. What started as a simple idea has grown into something far beyond what she could have imagined. Through this journey, Taylor and her team have not only connected with passionate motorsports fans, but have also formed connections with several inspiring content creators united by their love for the sport. That passion and collaboration led to the creation of ATYL Media, a dynamic team of motorsports content creators dedicated to producing motorsports content that's fresh, informative, and fun. At ATYL Media, we cover everything you love about motorsports, from F1 and IndyCar to NASCAR, short tracks, and even virtual racing. We celebrate the sport's rich history, explore its exciting future, and enjoy every moment in between. This is Motorsports Media, your way. And Jordan, speaking of your way, it looks like Mark Whitley wants to have his way here, as he's going to start alongside Christopher Morse Jr. on the front row. The iRacing.com pace truck lights are out.
Yeah, he's getting ready to bring these guys back. Green as that truck takes a hard left turn off of the racing pavement, giving it to Whitley. Whitley gets a little bit of a shot there from McCarthy. He does not want to go yet with it not being in the restart zone. Now fires off and puts a considerable gap on second and third.
You know, that's something that I've noticed from a lot of folks, you know, in the iRacing.com servers, and that's, hey, if I have control of the field, I can do whatever I darn well please. You know what I'm saying? Sure, I respect everything as we take a look here at Barrett Morton, driver the number 9 out of Louisville, Kentucky. But, if I've got control of that field, you'll go when I say we'll go. I hate like hell to see somebody making contact or giving the old brotherly shove, if you will, from behind the Geico restart zone. Also, the brotherly shove is something happening in a Turkish bath right now.
Well, something that I learned way back in my time with late model stock cars and working with teams is a lot of the setup for restarts would be, you would just kind of sit there, and as soon as that guy made contact with you and you could feel it, or, the spotter would call it out, you would go, because as soon as he makes contact with your rear bumper, he's going to have to let off the throttle enough so you can kind of catch a good gap off the guy behind you. If you just go once he gives you a little nudge there, because he's going to be off throttle, or maybe even on the brake if he's a little too hopped up on the throttle there. And that's a good trick to kind of get yourself out front. So, could be something we see later on in some of these races here.
Speaking of things later on in these races, taking a look at Travis Bieber in the 114 out of Ole, PA. One half of the Route 73 Mafia. Of course, Brett Bieber up in the 808 right now, running in 8th position. But Travis down here back in a battle for 14th position. Kyle Deering trying to hold him off, and right now, Travis can wrap that bottom. He's real close to that yellow line, not about a half a car width off of it. But, so far so good. 11 laps in the books for Travis Bieber. And then, of course, we do want to take a look up here at Brett Bieber. He's already climbed up 2 positions tonight, also out of Ole, PA, the other half of the Route 73 Mafia. Can you imagine? You know what? I know that you have no idea where Ole is, but if there was a Mafia in Ole, I feel like they would just ride in a horse and buggy. It's really close.
I was going to say the same thing I was going to say to myself in my thoughts that I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what that would be. But
I will tell you, you can go up there to Ole this fall. You can check out the Ole Fair. Oh my God, the food that they have, my friend. As we take a look here at Jamie Libke, driver the number 16. Lambda Legal machine. And, Jamie checked in a couple of weeks ago with me just to give me a little bit of a backstory here on Lambda Legal. And oddly enough, Lambda Legal is a civil rights organization that and law firm that specializes in ensuring the civil rights of members of the LGBTQ community and making sure that those folks are protected and defended. And in 2023, Lambda Legal sponsored Zach Herron, who is an openly gay driver for the ARCA series in Daytona that year, and they thought that it was a fantastic way to educate the public and send a message of support to the LGBTQ plus fans. So anyway, point is that Jamie Libke felt that it was important enough to give me the backstory on Lambda Legal, and I think that it's important. Of course, my sister, a member of that community, so absolutely an ally. And Jamie Libke, playoff driver, holding on to 10th position right now. Our race leader, Mark Whitley, up here in the 74. He's already opened up about a 9/10 of a second lead over top of Christopher Morse Jr., the Wilmington, North Carolina native. Takes the lead, and he's not going to give it back to Christopher Morse anytime soon.
Yeah, no, if Whitley has it his way, he's just going to hold on to this and put it in his pocket and walk away with it, as he's done the last, and I fact-checked myself, the last 6 races that we've covered. So this would be 7 if he can get this done tonight.
I mean, why stop now? Just keep it rolling. And again, Mark Whitley in this situation that he's in, I mean, I feel like you just have to keep trying to win.
Oh, absolutely.
Playoffs be damned.
It's one of those things that's going to put a notice on everything. I mean, he certainly has the attention of several other drivers, and with that, it's also going to draw in more racers into this thinking, hey, like, this Whitley guy, like, I can't get the best of him on Mondays, but maybe I can get the best of him on Sundays. And, that creates more and more competition. And that's the thing with this league is there's competition from first all the way to 24th here, and it's a consistent fight for the top spot. I mean, before Whitley came onto the scene, I mean, each and every Monday we were watching Morris Jr. and Eddie Smith. I mean, absolutely just side by side, door to door, every single week. And, people have slowly started to creep up into that and put their nose into it, just like here where, Mike McCarthy, he's been on a roll lately. He's been finding himself in, higher positions. Currently scored third right now. Like, he's one of those guys that's stepping it up here come playoff time. So it opens up the door for competition.
Yeah, and some of the competition that we've seen here on Sunday nights, and of course you and I also have the privilege of seeing it in the ARCA series on a Monday, is literally second to none. Dan Crakeel, wanted to build off of that performance of having only 2 cautions in the previous race over at Kansas. And, Skylar Daly, by the way, just as a side note here, I say side note, but we're in the middle of this race here in the double deuce in that Ford F-150, leading Kyle Deering by just about now Kyle Wilson, by just about 0.2 of a second. But, here's the thing. When your race director is happy with your performance, because you can't help but want to do better and try to improve on that and build on that. And Whitley, I think, has the ability to do that. You're exactly right. He put the entire league on notice this season. I mean, Mark Whitley up here, gapping the field by now more than 0.9 of a second, nearly a full second. As a non-playoff driver, that's got to frustrate a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also one of those things is, you're thinking now, like, I need to get this championship, now. Have no choice, but I need to get it now. And then, put in the extra little bit of time, get to practice earlier, knowing that, Whitley is going to be a force to reckon with each and every week as we move forward into further seasons and even further races here.
Yeah, to your point, if you don't win now and Whitley races a full season next season, give up. You're done. Check out. That'll be it. Brock Price here in the 03 working just underneath the 34 of Casey Jones, and Casey Jones seems to be having a problem. Douglas Macedo comes down pit road. He'll be the first driver to do so. But it may be, 21 laps. We're about a quarter of the way through this piece. Drivers considering what their pit strategy is going to be. I mean, they've got 4 total sets of tires, so really if you wanted to break this out into 4 stops, you could and keep the grip tight. But, so far so good as far as pit strategy looks right now. I wouldn't look to see anybody come down pit road before lap 40.
Yeah, no, I don't imagine that myself unless it's really going to be a tight run to the finish to get 40 full laps. I don't see it either. But, I mean, we've seen some wrenches thrown at some strategies just to try to get one up or find your way to get any kind of speed. Actually, I see Morris, I believe, coming out now. Or am I looking at the wrong truck?
Nope, that's the right one. That's Christopher Morris Jr. He's decided to come on down. Here I thought that, what is that doing up there? Here I thought that we would see, nobody except maybe Christopher Morris Jr. I didn't think that we'd see most of our leaders until lap 35, 45, somewhere in there. But I guess these drivers are going to go ahead and make this a 3-4 stop race.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where you just got to keep an eye on it. I mean, for my thinking here is Morris is going to hope that it runs green so that, he's going to be out here probably till around lap 60 or so instead of coming down at, 40 like maybe Whitley or them. He'll go to lap around 60, so those guys will be on about 20 old tires by the time he comes down. He'll have 20 lap fresh tires to be able to run those last 20 or so out as fast as he possibly can, burn up the stuff as use every ounce of rubber on those tires to try to get up and by the leader. And I mean, you can't run the same strategy as the leader and expect to, just run him down each and every time. So I mean, I think it could be a good call as long as this thing stays green for Morris here.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it here. And, of course, one other thing we want to do is tip our helmet and salute our friends here at Goat Locker Racing. At GLR, we provide virtual racing equipment, racing team building opportunities, and fundraising events to support community initiatives that improve military and public servant quality of life. We seek to grow our competitive team of drivers and promote VR racing as a healthy activity to newly transitioning veterans and their families. We believe that friendly competition, adrenaline-soaked driving, and community gatherings are essential to a good quality of life for our civic students, servants, and veterans, and that GLR can be a force of good all across the state of Indiana and beyond. And donations to GLR will fund equipment for qualifying drivers, racer simulation training for military, firefighter, EMS, and police officers, public racing events and community outreach with mobile simulators, and, of course, other veteran-serving nonprofits and veteran education supplement grants. GLR is one of those organizations that the first thing I want to tell you is that when you go on over there to goatlockerracing.org/donate, as a contributor, they make sure that your donation goes directly to supporting the cause of helping military veterans and first responders. I say it every week, and I cannot stress this enough as we take a moment here. The 19 of Christopher Morris Jr. is getting his lap back the old-fashioned way. But every cent of your donation goes to what you're trying to support. It's not like when you go to the Red Cross and you say, "Oh, I'm going to donate $1," and 78 cents of that dollar goes to admin, and only 22 cents gets to where it's actually going. Everything here at Goat Locker Racing is focused on the veterans and first responders that we're here to serve. So we appreciate everything that these veterans have done to keep us free, and of course everything that our first responders do to keep us safe here at home. And want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight, making us a part of your evening. We want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Dave Regal and Mr. Jordan Brockell here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight as Mark Whitley now has a 2.45 second lead over Michael McCarthy.
Yeah, and something I just want to touch on back with the Goat Locker Racing. I got to see the videos posted of them donating their 7th sim rig to a guy named Nick. And I got to say that just seeing the smiles and everything from his face, and just the fact that going to him, having the conversations, and giving him the sim rig and everything like that, really warms the heart, and it's stuck with me all this time. And I mean, I believe that was back in March. So I mean, it's a truly wonderful thing to see and be a part of.
Yes, sir. As Mark Whitley leads the way, Barrett Morton in the 9 machine. He's going to run right where he started tonight. Our big mover so far is Kyle Wilson. He's up 9, as currently running in 11th position, qualified in 20th. Right now, chasing down Mark Cofield by about 0.2 of a second. The 4:03 of Kyle Wilson. We're going to go on board here and just see the way that he's working around. He's able to slide right up against the wall. He's drafting nicely behind the 97. And a little burp of the throttle, that'll get him to rotate. And he's got a good rotation, but that rear end's trying to step out on him. One false move of the throttle, and it's all over.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a treacherous track, being on asphalt, or not asphalt. I was trying to not say asphalt, and I still said asphalt. But on the concrete's treacherous. I mean, my local track, Dover, that's one of the scariest tracks there is. You even got a monster that lives there. So, the concrete just is a little less forgiving than a rubbered up asphalt.
34 laps in the books. Mark Whitley ceding the lead now, coming down pit road as we ride on board with him. He's got a long way to go. He's going to have to get down to the second to last pit stall here. And as he pulls in, pit crew goes to work. And it's going to be 4 tires in the Tech Go Fast. They're a little sluggish tonight here as we wait for Whitley to come off of pit road. Still waiting to see when Tyler Justice says he gets on the throttle, and off we go. Getting back onto the racing surface, he loses a lap, but Christopher Morse has already cycled himself back to the lead lap. Jeremiah Holt, Mark Cofield, and Joseph McWhorter down pit road now too.
Yeah, and you can see right there the difference with, Morris coming down about 10 laps earlier, is able to jump over top of Whitley. He's going to, be on older stuff, and, Whitley's going to be on fresh, going to be able to run him down. But, it's going to take time for that. And by the time he gets to him, I mean, their stuff could easily be equalized or to enough of an equalizing point that, Morris is going to be able to hold off Whitley a lot easier than if they were trying to stay on the same schedule.
Well, it's going to be an interesting cycle here. Still about 11 drivers who haven't come down as part of this cycle. Brandon Wallace being the last in that line. Barrett Morton would be next in line if he decided to go. Jamie Libke here running in 5th. Kyle Wilson and Travis Bieber running 6th and 7th. This 5, 6, 7, little line here. Everybody nice and organized, and I think that this, at least for my money, is the class of the organization when it comes to good, solid racing. As all of a sudden, Mark Whitley with a fresh tank of Go Fast and brand new Dr. Feelgoods on the side of that machine is ripping through here like the Grim Reaper. Charles Habert, Jamie Libke, and Travis Bieber. Oh, Charles Habert is backwards.
That's not a good feeling at all whatsoever.
I'm going to go back and watch him come down pit road. He caught a little bit of grass.
And it also looks like he was coming in a little hot there, too, so trying to get it up on the binders. And, with that brake bias being set at certain things, give it just a touch bit too much brake, it's going to throw that rear end around, too, as well. So the grass and possibly brake bias not helping that situation.
Now, taking another look at it from right here. Oh, yeah, he came in hotter than hell. Ay! Oh. That'll do it.
And that's what turns a, 15-second stop to, a 30 to 45-second stop. But he gets off going now, so.
He's got. I'm assuming that he's going to have to serve a pit penalty for unsafe pit entrance. As Barrett Morton, Big Duke, and Andy Kurtz and Brett Bieber all coming down pit road. The 48 and the 808. A couple of Pennsylvania boys. Here comes Kyle Wilson in the 403. That's a sharp-looking paint scheme. I'll give him that one. Newcomer tonight, as Brandon Wallace in the 99 goes up here in his Chevrolet Silverado to lead a lap. And, 29.83. That's what I thought I saw. 29.83 seconds out of Jeremiah Holt. We are ripping through now.
Yeah, I mean, he just ran the similar time, well, obviously faster with it being purple, but a similar time to Christopher Morris's 29.83 as well. So he's running leader, worthy times, matching Morris and Whitley. So look for him to storm up through here too.
Taking a look here, 41 laps in the books. That means 40 to go, folks. As Christopher Morse Jr. retakes the lead, he came down on lap number 21. He hasn't had the lead since he qualified. Other than that, Mark Whitley has been your domineering driver. Actually, our top 4 suddenly just locked themselves back into where they had qualified. Jeremiah Holt and Mark Cofield lead the way in, big movers of the night, as well as Brock Price. But Mark Cofield right here in the 97. He's your big mover of the night at plus 10 on the board after qualifying 16th.
Yeah, and you can see this with Morris coming down earlier. I mean, we're assuming that since Whitley came down at 35, it's going to have to make another stop as well. So, I mean, depending on when Whitley plans to make that stop, that could flip it to where him and Morris are coming down at the same time. Just to make sure they have enough. So, I mean, I don't know if Whitley's going to want to try to run this the full 40 on out, or if Morris is, if Whitley's going to plan on making another stop. But I mean, that's just stuff we're going to have to wait and see, because I mean, we don't have the racer. We're not in their heads. We don't know what their plans are. But I'd imagine that Whitley would come back down, and Morris obviously needing to come down as well, and would pit around the same time.
Well, it's going to be a game of wait and see as we're here on lap number 44 of 80 at Nashville Superspeedway. You're watching the Goat Locker Racing INVets Truck Series opening night for the Spring 2025 playoffs. I'm Dave Riegel. He is Mr. Jordan Brockell, and we'll be right back. But don't go away. We'll be going NASCAR side-by-side right here on Sim Racing Media.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. INVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. INVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about INVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Nashville Super Speedway. Dave Riegel and Jordan Brockell with you in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. You're watching the Goat Locker Racing INVets Truck Series opening night of the Spring 2025 playoffs right here on SRM. Mark Whitley, your race leader, has already crawled back into the race lead. Michael McCarthy, Tyler Justice, Jeremiah Holt, and Mark Cofield, that's your top 5. And, you know, so far tonight, Jordan, we've seen some great driving. All of a sudden, Christopher Morse Jr., now he was last down on lap 21, now comes down on lap 48 for pit service. What do you smell here with the pit strategies on the 19 machine?
That he is smarter than I am, because I would have probably waited and probably ran out my tires, probably worn out everything that I had left, and then came down and realized that I probably should have pitted about 20 laps earlier. So, I mean, with that, I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle for him the rest of the way, especially if, you know, Whitley goes flag to, well, I guess I can't say flag to flag, from pit stop to flag here, and doesn't come back down. But he should be able to march through the field and find his way back to the front regardless. It's just how far he can climb back up.
Yeah, and overall, I mean, this race has been, we've had one caution, and sometimes I feel like you need to just get the butterflies out and get that one and possibly only caution out of the way. We don't want to turn Nashville Super Speedway into Nashville Super Speedway, you know, demolition derby. And realistically, when you start to see the ticker change over here, 25 to go, now we know that if you do get into some kind of situation, guys may be a little bit, let's just say, more liberal, if you will, with their fast repair. Hey, if I get wrecked now, I'll use that fast repair. If not, you know, you've always got it in your pocket.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those things that, you know, it's a safeguard, but it's one of those safeguards you don't ever want to have to use, but it certainly allows you to kind of be I don't want to say reckless, it's not what the word I'm looking for, a little bit more aggressive, maybe, if you will. Maybe try to throw the car around a little bit more as you get into this run, and know that wow, look at the speed difference there for Morris. He goes outside the two trucks there, but it allows you to be a little bit more free in your.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, Michael McCarthy here out of Matamoros, Pennsylvania, he's got the 3 machine cranked up for the time being, crosses the start-finish line with now 23 to go. He just saw the 19 pass him as the 19 of Christopher Morse Jr. gets back on the lead lap. This is twice now that Morse has gotten back on the lead lap the old-fashioned way. So interesting and really good driving by, of course, Christopher Morse, who, you know, proves himself week after week. Mark Whitley going to come down pit road. It is pit cycle time in Nashville. We want to thank our friends at INVets. Of course, you're watching the GLR INVets Truck Series. INVets, founded by veterans and for veterans, aid in transitioning veterans to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran nonprofit organization in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. And they are, of course, our title sponsor here on Sunday night. We also want to thank Lincoln Tech, and Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses, and they're a huge partner of Goat Locker Racing, and of course, they're the title sponsor across all the spring series as Matamoros, Pennsylvania's Michael McCarthy comes down pit road. Tyler Justice cycles up to the race lead. Just kidding, he's going to come down. Big David Duke, and hopefully not that David Duke, has the 78 running in the lead now as he crosses the start-finish line.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the quick math here. About 5 seconds separating Morris and Whitley, currently in 15th and 16th. So it's a 5-second gap with Morris ahead of Whitley that he's got to make up here. And again, then you got to start to wonder if these guys are going to be able to, you know, and that's going to change a lot of things as the second caution of the night comes out here, and I believe it looks as though it's Casey Jones having some issues.
Casey Jones was involved in the first caution of the evening. Let's see if we can take a look here and find out what happened this time around. Casey Jones here in the 34. He's got... Oh,
and I don't know if maybe it just didn't reach the other driver that he was going to come down pit road, because certainly looked like he was slowing up to make a stop, as he had been down last time, lap 33, so he certainly was looking for the entrance of pit road there.
Let's take a look and see if we can hear that engine. Yeah, it sounds like perhaps... It sounds like maybe he did get off the throttle. I would like to say perhaps he didn't know that there was anybody behind him, but how do you not know? And the interesting thing is that's going to cycle Christopher Morse Jr. up to our race lead, as David Duke and everybody down through 12th position going to come through and get their pit service.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of those things. It's going to be difficult for Morris here, as he's got 10 lap older tires than Whitley does. But then everybody else behind them, everybody else behind him are going to have fresh, brand new tires as well. So it's I don't think we're done with this yellow flag, if I do say so myself.
No, I don't think Barney's going to be putting that down anytime soon. It would be nice if he could. But Barney up here in the flag stand, I mean, first of all, only the second time he's had to do anything tonight. So, I guess folks give Barney...
Four.
Okay.
He's got to wave the green flag, too.
He basically works for the federal government. He does 4 jobs very well, and then he moves on. And by very well, I mean piss poor.
I don't know, man. He weighs the living crap out of that flag.
I probably just put myself on a government watch list now.
Well, I mean, after... Never mind. I
let it go.
The FCC,
I see the top. I see the top of the slide, and I don't think we want to go down it. But when we go back green flag racing tonight, it's going to be Christopher Morris Jr., Mark Whitley, Tyler Justice, Andy Kurtz, Big David Duke, Kyle Wilson, Jamie Libke, Barrett Morton, Brett Bieber, and Brandon Wallace, your top 10. The iRacing.com pace truck lights are out. So we'll be going green flag racing in just a moment. 17 laps to go. It'll be 16 when the flag flies again.
And I mean, again, I think it's going to get a little rough and rowdy here, just because of, you see the two, arguably two of the fastest trucks in the series right now, Morris and Whitley, kind of behind the 8 ball. Not necessarily that far behind it, but I mean, you kind of smell a little bit of the blood in the water, and it's there.
Sure is, and right now as the pace truck brings us through turns 3 and 4, looks like everybody's going to get nice and tight. Mark Whitley and Christopher Morse Jr. in the front row. Morse on the low side. He's going to have control of the field. And as he comes into the Geico restart zone, he drops the hammer about midway through, and off we go. 16 left here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, Whitley able to stick right to him, get to the inside here, going to be inside of Christopher Morris as they go through turns 1 and 2. Going to drag race down the backstretch. And yeah, drag race down the backstretch going towards turns 3 and 4. He's going to possibly have an edge here if he can get a good run through on the bottom.
And it looks like Christopher Morris Jr. is going to be edged out for the time being. He shuffles back into second position. That opens the door for Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, just up 476 from the Mid-County Toll Plaza as he gets right underneath the 19. And all of a sudden, it is rush hour in Nashville. 15 laps to go. Mark Whitley leading the way, but Andy Kurtz in hot pursuit now as he has the 48 cranked up to crazy. We look out the rear bumper of the 48, and this is where all that action is. Side by side they go. That's Tyler Justice and Christopher Morse getting ready to exchange paint, and we go under caution.
Yeah, so that's actually, I think, I was looking at the timing and scoring, and it looks like Andy Kurtz is only 4 laps newer. So, I mean, for Whitley, he's still got a strong case here. We'll take a back look at this. And, it looks like Albert gets hold of, or Albert. I keep saying Albert. I can't read. Gets a hold of, I think, McQueen there, sends him around, and then everybody else piles in after.
Let's take a look here and see what happened with Charles Abert in the 7 machine out of Centralia, Washington. And, he just hooks the 178 of Alex McQueen, and around they go.
He gets bounced around like a ping pong ball.
The 03 went for a ride. I didn't think Brock Price was really in a bad position there. Let's see what happened with him. Kind of an interesting viewpoint, if you will. And let's watch the 03. Now, of course, the wreck is happening in front of them, but I'm guessing that the 03 got caught up in the checkup, if you will. No, even worse. The 7 slides up the racetrack and just hammers him.
Yeah, and it's one of those it's just a tough situation. You're slowing up for it. You think you're good. You're just kind of cruising there, and then all of a sudden you get a face full of race car.
Yeah, nobody likes to take a race car to the face, that's for sure. As I'm looking right here in our chat, see if we can get a hold of Andy Kurtz. He's running in 2nd position right now.
I can confirm as a father, a race car to the face does not feel good.
No, that's not the way that works. Hey, Andy, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Up, Dave. Gotcha.
Hey, man, listen, you're running P2 right now behind Whitley. Now, Whitley's been a force to, be reckoned with all season long. But you're on 4-lap newer tires, and it looks like everybody tried to get themselves on the same pit cycle this time around. What are you thinking when the green flag drops?
Well, that's good to know. Thank you. I don't know how much newer my tires were, but he's been lights out the whole race, so this is probably my only shot. So I know the guys behind me, though, are pretty quick. So hope to, give it my all. Don't really have to save tires here, so we'll see what we got.
Yeah, it's probably the shortest definite run that was left here as everybody else gets themselves lined up. Get ready, rock and roll. I mean, listen, all season long you've been really beating your brains in trying to get up here. And, I mean, you've earned your spot in the playoffs. You've earned your, everywhere that you are tonight. So congratulations, buddy, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That, of course, Quakertown, PA's very own Andy Kurtz, driver of the number 48. 12 laps to go. Going to be 11 when the green flag flies. Whitley, Kurtz, Justice, Duke, Libke, Wilson, Morton, Bieber, Wallace, and Kevin Price. Your top 10.
Pace truck off the racing surface here. Going to give the control to Whitley. And it's going to be interesting from here on out as we've only got 12. Going to be 11 to go as Whitley fires off. Kurtz not getting a great start. Duke all over the back end of him as Whitley has a large lead headed towards turn 1.
All of these drivers, 22 of them, of course, coming down through turn number 2 now. I can't see who that is. That's the 50 of Kyle Deering. And we go under caution almost immediately.
Yeah, and like I said, now we're getting the work out of Barney here, making him work for his paycheck.
It's about time. He's been sitting around sipping on an ice cold Coca-Cola.
Oh,
it started with the 3 of McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy ended up being the meat in the sandwich there, and someone decided to press the bread together, and
I like it when somebody. Never mind. Leaving it go. Watch the 3 machine. Yeah, it looks like McCarthy thought that he could split them, and it didn't work out so well, and he slides up and collects the 50. Ugh. You hate to see that this late in the race. Let's take one more break here as we're just getting ready for 10 to go. Got to pay a few bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal. He's Jordan Brockell, and you're watching the Goat Locker Racing INVets Truck Series live on SRM.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. INVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. INVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about INVets, visit us at invets.org today.
I did see
Welcome back to Nashville Super Speedway. Dave Regal and Jordan Brockell with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. You're watching the opening week of the 2025 Spring Playoffs of the GLR INVets Truck Series, right here on SRM. Jordan, we've only got 8 laps to go. It's going to be lucky number 7 left when they come back around and take the green flag. I thought that we were done with caution flags, and it turns out I may or may not have been slightly incorrect.
I mean, everybody's amped up, ready to run with the start of the playoffs, and you had a week off, and it's just you got that mindset. You're ready to go, and it's crunch time now.
Crunch time it is as the iRacing.com pace truck brings the field into turn 4. He peels off as the field goes back toward that Geico restart zone, and as Whitley brings us into the restart zone, the 74 gets ready to drop the hammer, and off we go. 7 left here at Nashville Super Speedway.
Good jump by the 74 there. 48 able to stay a little bit closer this time around. Certainly going to want to hunt him down. Third place, a 2x2 battle there between Tyler Justice and Big Duke for that P3 final podium position.
Cameraman here on top of the 33 rotates over to keep an eye on the 78 of Big Duke as we wind our way down here. 6 laps to go, and side by side, all but fender to fender, is the 33 and the 78.
Oh, real tight
God.
through that corner there.
They were wadded up like a can of chew, that's for sure. Side by side they are. 2x2, please, says Noah. Get on the arc. 6 left here. All of a sudden, the 403 of Kyle Wilson, our biggest mover of the night, qualified in 20th, runs in 7th now, makes an appearance here in the top 10, but Mark Whitley lays fast time down at 29.73, while Andy Kurtz beats his own fast time at 29.87. So you can start to see how some of these lap times are going to affect exactly what these drivers are going to be able to do over the next 5 laps. Time is running out, and at least for my money, we're going to start to see the cream rise to the top now as Whitley comes down toward the start-finish line. Does he beat his own time again? He does not, and is 600th of a second slower at 29.78. 4 laps to go.
Yeah, Andy Kurtz throwing everything he possibly can at this, giving everything that he's got. It's just Whitley has just a touch bit more. And, I mean, you see corner entry, and Andy Kurtz was gaining, but it was off the corner exit where I saw that Whitley was able to really stretch the gap out. And, again, time just running out here.
Yeah, time is not just of the essence. It's all we have left. Mark Whitley now with a little bit more than a half-second lead over Andy Kurtz, but the battle rages deep back here where the 808 of Brett Bieber is. Right now it's Whitley, Kurtz, and Duke atop the pile. Barrett Morton still gapped by quite a distance, but Mark Whitley comes out of turn 4 back to the start-finish line. The popsicle sticks go in the air. We're 2 laps to go.
Yeah, time is definitely not an essence. It's certainly a bottle of smelling salts right now, and I think that's about all that Andy Kurtz can ask for is maybe a little hint of that smelling salts to get a little bit of extra amperage through him to get up there to Mark Whitley, but Whitley able to stretch it out to almost 0.7 of a second lead.
The white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Whitley, with control of this field, has been dominant all night long. And this man here, driver of the number 74 out of Wilmington, North Carolina, has put on an absolute clinic once again. Andy Kurtz and Big Duke round out your top 3 for the time being. Big Duke trying to hold off the 9 of Barrett Morton, but I don't think he's got enough left. And coming out of turn 4 and crossing the start-finish line is Mark Whitley. He'll bring home the checkered flag, followed by Andy Kurtz and Big David Duke, driver of the number 78 Chevrolet. It is all Chevrolet bow ties through your top 10, a pair of Toyotas in 11th and 12th, and your first Ford F-150 is way back in 16th position. So a good representation for General Motors here in the top 10 as Mark Whitley gets to cool it down and bring it back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, I mean, again, just an absolute showing here by Whitley, and I mean, the dude is on an absolute tear. I mean, 4 consecutive truck races, and if I remember my facts correctly, that ties Eddie Smith with most consecutive truck wins, and I mean that in itself is crazy, especially with Eddie Smith being one of the higher tier drivers in this series, or in this the whole organization, I should say.
Yeah, Whitley is just on a tear, and I can't stress enough the way that these guys are performing here. And of course, in our playoffs, Whitley once again notches the non-playoff driver win, and you said it earlier, he's putting the league on notice.
Yeah, I mean it's a express given a letter. It's signed, sealed, delivered right there to their front door. Of I'm here and I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Just waiting for these guys to hop on in there as he gets some of the grass to clean off. You can't park there.
Whitley wanting that he wants to put it up on the victory lane, but don't think we have that here, unfortunately.
Nope, but it looks like he wants to burn it down on the front stretch as we're waiting for him to hop on in. I see David Duke just waiting on Andy Kurtz and Mark Whitley. What a race, though. These guys and gals week after week in this league, they blow my mind every time I see them. Let's get a hold of Mark Whitley now. Hey, Mark, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Buddy, listen, an incredible race once again. Great performance for you, sir. I mean, how do you find yourself here in Victory Lane yet again, a non-playoff eligible driver, schooling everybody?
Yeah, it was just one of my. I've really kind of taken a liking to this track, so got a couple of good laps in practice, got a good qualifying effort. I know the 19 was breathing down our neck a lot during the first run. He pit super early. I didn't really think that was the way to go. I ran it long. I eventually, through pit cycles, I ran him back down, and then he pit early. We were just on 2 very different strategies, and got that caution late that I thought was going to throw a monkey wrench in it because I'd been on those tires a couple laps, and as low of fuel as we have, it kind of burns the right front off. So I was kind of a little worried about it, but then we were able to get back by him pretty quickly. And then on that last restart, had a complete mirror full of 48, and I just put my head down and just drove the wheels off of it and was able to kind of pull away. I don't know if he got the wall 1 or 2 times, I think, but just holding on for dear life and just trying to get back to the checkered.
Yeah, you know what? I'm the first to say when I saw that you had Andy Kurtz, right on your tail for a little while. I mean, look, I'm biased as all get out. He's one of my Pennsylvania, statesmen, so I'm always secretly watching those guys. But you managed to hold off the entire field again, here in Nashville Super Speedway. Before we cut you loose tonight, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done on the 74 team tonight?
Yeah, big shout out Brantley over at Harpoon Designs, putting together these awesome paint jobs. Hopefully we'll have a new one soon with maybe a new sponsor. Hopefully, fingers crossed here soon. Got a big shout out to my teammate. He got a brand new computer, and we've been having all the kind of technical bugs that comes with new technology sometimes. And Joe, he didn't have any force feedback. The sound was all messed up, and he didn't get any practice, and he was able to drive that thing to P6. Especially he was having some internet issues during the race too. He was having a little bit of everything, and he was able to drive back through. It was a hell of a drive from him. And I got to thank INVets, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Department of Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, all them guys, great causes. Thanks for you for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to Lee for having me. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can to these playoff drivers, but also trying to win in the same time.
Hey, respect is earned, that's for sure, and you earned it tonight to lead these guys back to the checkered flag. Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks.
That the voice of Mark Whitley, who just schooled everybody and their cousin. And Jordan, I believe you have with you now out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, Andy Kurtz, driver the number 48.
Hey, Andy, it's Jordan in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man. So, you threw just about everything but the kitchen sink, and, you might have even ripped it out of the wall and thrown it at it, too. But, you had a fast car there. You set your fastest time of the race there at the end. I don't think there's much, but, is there anything more you think you could have possibly done there?
No, I don't think so. Mark is really quick, so he definitely deserved that one. I thought it was going to be a little bit easier just on the tire difference. So I was just driving lines where I thought I would. He set up a lot better to pass him, but he was really good. So couldn't really figure out what to do behind him. But congrats to him. I don't got much else to say.
I got you. Now, one of my big questions with it is, when somebody like, Whitley comes in and kind of goes on a little bit of a tear. Is that like a big motivator for you to like just, find every little bit of thing that you can do to do a little bit better and, try to get to that win from him? Or, does it set a goal even, to be the guy to knock him off that run?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely I always like racing with guys, quicker than you. So it's definitely frustrating, especially when you got new tires and you still can't beat them. But yeah, it's good to be running with guys that are a lot quicker, because eventually you do learn and get better, and it's a lot more. You appreciate a lot more when you run well and beat those guys. So yeah, it's all good.
Well, certainly not a bad finish. Come P2 on the night, and with all of that said, before we cut you loose, certainly some people you want to thank for tonight, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate you guys for putting on great shows for us on Sundays. I want to thank INVets, Sunday truck sponsor, and Jam Printing and Promotions, and Alexander PCs for helping us put this on.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, as always, as we get Andy on back up to Quakertown. And last but certainly not least, Big David Duke, driver of the number 78. Hey, Dave, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Fantastic, man. Listen, you finished third tonight. You qualified in seventh. A lot of traffic down on the racetrack. How do you find yourself here on the podium?
I don't know, man. We got lucky. I was talking to Chat during the middle of that race, and when the leaders started peeling off, I was like, I don't know, should we pit now or should we run it out? And they convinced me to run it out. And right at this time we were talking about that, the caution come out, so it worked out pretty good. And we got some track position and flip flop on some fresh tires, and was able to drive home to a podium.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to hit it literally perfectly on the head, and tonight you managed to do that. Now, next week, of course, things get a little bit different moving forward now. the question that I have is, what do you do diving deeper into the playoffs for the rest of the season now that, I mean, at least for my money as I look at the schedule, we're going to Richmond next week, short track racing in the round of 12.
Yeah, it's a good thing we started out with a podium. I struggle a little bit at Richmond. I don't know. I can't get I find the trouble to get the tempo there. So it's good to start out here with a podium. Gonna attack it a little bit, maybe in the conservative range. I know there was some guys that had a little bit of trouble that might have to have some really good runs to advance, and having a podium here kind of cushions that. So we'll be a little conservative and see how the race goes. But looking forward to the Iowa, California, Texas gauntlet. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm looking at the rest of the schedule here. I mean, you know, Richmond, Iowa, and Auto Club at least, you know, and then Texas to round everything out. What a great playoff bracket. So, listen, good luck the next couple of weeks, my friend. But before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank, and who helped you get it done tonight on the 78 team?
Wow, everybody here at Goat Locker, Save 22, INVets, and you guys there at Sim Racing Media, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line. I do a lot of work with Above the Yellow Line and Taylor and everybody over there at Above the Yellow Line Media. Greatly appreciate everything they're doing. And Sim Motion and like I said, INVets, everything they do, and also Keith Says Yes Motorsports, everybody over there with Yes Car and Yes Car 3D and everything we got going on over there. Just appreciate everybody's support.
All right, buddy. Congratulations. We'll see you next week, and of course that'll be on Resurrection Sunday right here on Sim Racing Media. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one. Thank you, boys.
Absolutely. That, of course, the voice of Big David Duke, driver of the number 78. We thank him for sticking around with us tonight. Sometimes it kind of stinks to have to be the third one on the podium, but at least you still get interviewed and get to check in with us. But, Jordan, another one in the books, and, of course, for opening night of the playoffs, wow.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we thought for a while it was going to go green to checkered. And then we had a little bit of some action happening there, and then now with this all done, I mean, we're gonna just continue to look forward to each and every week.
As we've done all season, we look forward to seeing you folks next week. But before we get out of here and focus on the next race at Richmond, Virginia, we want to take one final look at our results from here at Nashville Super Speedway. Mark Whitley brings home the checkered flag, and he's followed by Andy Kurtz and David Duke. Barrett Morton and Tyler Justice make up the rest of your top 5, while Joseph McWhorter, Kyle Wilson, Brett Bieber, Brandon Wallace, and Jeremiah Holt round out your top 10. Michael McCarthy comes home in 11th, while Jamie Libke brings her number 16 Toyota home in 12th position. Alex McQueen gets into 13th, while Travis Bieber, Charles Abert, Kevin Price, Christopher Morse Jr., Mark Cofield, Skylar Daly, and Kyle Deering round out your top 20. And finishing the best of the rest, it's going to be Brock Price, Casey Jones, and Douglas Macedo, making up the 23 drivers who took the checkered flag or the green flag this evening. So for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner extraordinaire, my brother from another mother, Mr. Jordan Brockell, we want to thank you for tuning in and making us a part of your night right here on Sim Racing Media. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.